is, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's so beautifully said. So beautifully said. And it's an important message that we all need to, well, I need to be reminded of. The hoarding, it seems, is no different at the extreme levels of owning everything, the control, the attempt to control everything. And we're in this microcosm of hoarding for, you know, the collapse of the economy or this, the thing or that thing. Hard times are coming. And my father lived through the Depression, the Great Depression. And, of course, I was raised with this belief that, you know, it was so terrible. And it was terrible.
It was, yeah.
But it was unnecessary.
Well, it's just we have to go back to the root, because the mind, oddly enough, since the mind is formless, we could say intelligence is formless, it creates structures for itself to enhance itself and to give it security. And then that happens in the world. Now, the structures, if they're not born of clear seeing, from clear intelligence, but are born from identified and thus fearful intelligence, they're all designed to collapse. So we can just start, I really invite friends, liberate your own mind first, because since there only is one mind, when your mind comes to rest, then you send a deep, soothing invitation to the group mind. So the problem isn't in the economic, you know, financial markets or in the economic structures, or it's in the identified mind that perceives other and perceives lack and then wants to hoard and steal from others, and it's the only tragedy that's out there. And it's not life that's let us down or people. It's this one mind that's under such pressure. And it'll do anything for security, and you'll notice that. It'll kill, it will steal, it will lie. You know, so that's why the greatest gift we can give humanity, other than returning to our naturalness, is to liberate our mind that's making all the trouble.
Right. That just makes so much sense. That is how I'm seeing it. It doesn't mean that I'm able to be that as much as I would like, but in my clearer moments, that is the truth. Well,
it's who you are, so even if you don't notice it, that's totally okay. It's still who you are.
Right.
Because I doubt if an elephant goes around saying, I am an elephant all the time. You know, he doesn't have to, or she doesn't have to, because that is what is.
Right. Now, what about all these... I'm just going to throw some words out there that seem to be common beliefs in with many people who are following a spiritual path, and it has to do with densities and dimensions and going from one to another and ascending and being lifted, and then in conjunction with that is the idea of God, Creator, or Source. Can you clarify how? Can you bring us some clarity on those?
Well, just speaking to the first part of the question, each one of us is omnidirectional and not locatable as formless presence. Now, only an object can ascend or descend or even progress. So a lot of those words point to an individual person, and they always use this phrase, making some headway. Now, headway is usually not the way we want to go.
Yeah. Right.
So I just invite people to rest, soothe their body-mind, and then notice the constancy of who they are. They're the only constant. They're the only constant is this aware gazing and listening and being. And then everything else is moving through that and noticed by this constancy. And then it returns to this beautiful second part of your question. My word, I rarely use the word God, but I definitely love the word divine.
Yeah.
My teacher, Robert Adams, used to start his gatherings with, "You are divine. You are not who you appear to be." What a beautiful way to start and live and rest into that.
Oh, yes. And also it seems that those other words create an artificial division between ourself and ourself, or the divine, and this aspect or this manifestation of the divine.
Yeah. And it can seem to, but we all start where we start.
Right.
So I used to think that it would be who I thought I was, that one would be liberated.
Right.
But then the final teachings in every tradition say, no, you're already free.
Right.
Because formless, intelligent presence cannot be bound and thus needs no liberation. And that's very relaxing. So once again, we're back at the truth is relaxing.
Yes.
And homework often isn't relaxing, and time cannot be relaxing, and postponement. And
Right. Is there such a thing as time? Is that something that we're binding ourselves to artificially, and that we're already in no time?
Well, time, I always have this joke, the ego was invented in Vienna, and time, who knows, I think maybe the Swiss invented it. I mean, they're certainly great with clocks, and it's a fabulous function. We all wear, for the most part, a wristwatch, and it's yet another function or form or structure that allows us to communicate and show up and have appointments and all that sort of thing, and know what time your favorite show is on and all that. But really what we'll all notice, and it's really ordinary, is that when we're relaxed, time expands, and when we're stressed, it shrinks. Like 5 minutes, if you're stressed, seems like a minute, and 5 minutes when you're incredibly relaxed just feels like 15. So it's very rubbery, it's formless, it's just a lovely function, but it's not what's ultimately true. So if I could interview a tree and ask what time it is, the tree would say, never heard of it. So if the tree hasn't heard of it, it's probably not real.
I like that. That's good. That's nice. I'm going to try to. I'll have to write that down, so I can. My mind can remember. A lot of different ideas center around the concept that we have a divine spark within us, or a soul, or an essence, and some are saying that we actually are a ball of light, a star, that is boundless and formless. That again creates a separation between us and everything else. Can you add some clarity to...
Well, it's, each one of us will speak uniquely about what we notice, and that's beautiful, because if we resonate with it, if it, really sends a deep, soothing, curling your toes kind of feeling, then that's your resonance. But each one of us will use certain words. And separation is just another perception and function that allows for experience and the play of life. And it's also made of nothing, so it doesn't really matter. Separation can totally come rest and is very welcome here. But, as we're everything and nothing, so any word we could say, yeah, I'm that.
Right.
And in the realm of no thing or formlessness, we could also say, yeah, and I'm not that.
Right.
Both are true.
Right. I was thinking about a CD that was done by I can't remember who it was, but it's a very renowned Hindu teacher, and his main teaching was neti neti. Not this, not that.
Right.
Is that one way to regain some centeredness?
Well, it's a very helpful pointer that, you're not your body, you're not your mind, you're not your thoughts, you're not your personal history, you're not your role, you're not your ancestors' conditioning, etc. It's very helpful. But what happens is then people kind of laminate it, or actually the mind laminates it, and it all sorts of pointings. They're just invitations to notice what is, and then you can invite them to rest. So my joke used to be neti neti and then yesy yesy. I am this, I am that. Because the final truth is you're not just your body, because you also are your body.
Right.
You're not your body and you are your body. Both are true.
Right. And being able to contain paradox seems to move me out of dualistic thinking.
Beautiful. Beautifully noticed.
Thank you. Yes, it's one of the red flags that goes off for me is when people say, well, is it this or is it that? Black or white? And I know instantly that they're not thinking